Hello, I'm the Angry Spork, taking issue with the New 52 origins of Shazam. After some attempted revenge goes awry, Billy Batson finds himself at the Rock of Eternity, meeting the last living wizard who oversees it. With Black Adam freed, the old man doesn't have time to look for a pure good person, something that doesn't exist, according to a 15-year-old boy, and he must settle for giving the rest of his powers to someone who could be good. What does Billy do with the power of Shazam? Save a woman from a mugging. For money. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen. Chapter 7 begins with Sivana and Black Adam on top of a New York building, looking down on the city. They sum up for each other some of the previous story points. Sivana wants magic to help his family, though he pauses here, kind of suggesting there might be more to it, and Adam determines that the wizard hid magic from the world to keep another like him from emerging. He crashes down to street level with the doc, leading a car to crash into him, not that he feels it, but yay, explosions! Yet that rather exciting incident doesn't seem to faze very nearby protesters, who Sivana seems to know are angry at their employer for stealing their livelihood. Sure, I guess you could have figured it out from their signs, and this was around the time of the 99% movement, if I'm not mistaken, but his assuredness still feels a smidge convenient. Anyway, Adam likens this to his own time, Pharaoh's profiting from the slave labor, so at the assumption of his ally, he bolts up to the top of the building, where the evil executive is yelling about buying the sidewalk to get protesters off it. Adam breaks the window to grab him, then drop him. Goodbye, Pharaoh. Splat like an Egyptian. After Mr. Gray comes to a full and complete stop, Adam, still speaking his native tongue, tells the slaves they're free. After they run in fear, he decides he should learn their language, and I guess just downloads what he needs from Sivana. He's actually very surprised that the people are afraid of him. After all, one of them has a sign that says, "Down with Gray." But since that probably won't be a sufficient legal defense, the two decide to take their leave. I have seen enough of this world to know what must be done. Hey look, someone with as much modern-day world experience as Billy Batson. Maybe Adam would have been able to convince the wizard his ways were best, too. He makes a direct street entrance into the sewer because the Rock of Eternity has an access from underground only stipulation, and using a triangular item from his belt, Adam creates a doorway to the castle. Sivana's all excited until he starts feeling pain down to his bones, explained as him channeling magic in a body that's not enchanted to do so safely, so it's gonna eventually kill him. A cure would be inside the castle, but Adam can't go, perplexing until he sees the wizard's body and deduces he's chosen a new champion, and only a champion may enter.
What if we played We Are the Champions by Queen? Would that work?
We jump to Billy waiting outside the window of a second-hand store as Fred picks out a $10 coat for him. And here's the most positive and uplifting this character has looked in the entire story. What time is this supposed to be again? Are thrift shops normally open early in the morning? Anyway, the coat is a little snug and smells funny, but Batson will attract less attention like this. With $10 left, they decide to grab some grub. That's when we jump back to Brooklyn, where a pizza guy is waiting to finish his delivery of 4 pizzas to a guy that tells him to just let himself in. And since New York and Philadelphia share time zones, now I'm wondering what pizza places are open this early in the morning. Adam and Sivana explode onto the scene and enter the lazy guy's apartment, where we see a morbidly obese man on a couch surrounded by empty food containers and trash, scared of the hooded figure approaching him. Adam says that without the power to imprison him and the others at the Rock of Eternity, the wizard must have made them forget their true forms. So he zaps the guy's reset button, and he's revealed to be Sloth, one of the 7 deadly sins. At first recognizing Adam as an old enemy, he becomes more amiable when the ex-champion says he's going to destroy his successor, and with the help of the sins, wreck the planet in order to rebuild it. Next, Shazam versus Freddy Freeman! Well, ain't that gonna be a short fight? But, you know, a superpowered hero fighting a crippled child, I guess that's what the New 52 thinks you should find exciting. Chapter 8 opens to the would-be combatants chowing on some fast food. And even though he's so full he's going to explode, Fred asks for more fries. Well, I guess we know where the sin of gluttony is hiding. Is he trying to throw up everything he's eaten so far? Moving on, they don't have enough money to buy beer, but naturally, Fred has a plan. Use Billy's newfound magic to get an ATM, not ATM machine, that's redundant, to spit out cash, which is totally okay because the bank is insured.
This scene leaves me kind of mixed. It takes some hyper-rationalization to get Billy to go along with this plan, and he does seem hesitant to do it. Though we've seen him be a liar, we have seen him be secretive and standoffish, he's not really a thief that we can tell. There was that one flashback panel where he was behind the wheel of a car, but I don't know if he was going out for a joyride or maybe he was desperately trying to escape an abusive environment. They don't really give any context there. However, Billy does kind of look out for number one and think that his actions are justified because he ain't got no parents. So,
A freestyle incantation doesn't work, but what does pay off, literally, is his proximity to electronic devices shorting it out. Unfortunately, they can't get it to stop. They hear someone crying for help and think they've been busted, but it's really a reaction to 3 armed men in cartoonish animal masks with their own loot. I think this is the updated Animal Cracker Gang, but don't quote me on that. One of them raises a gun at the two, and on the very next panel, Shazam is right behind him, lifting him off the ground. He throws the guy at the ATM, and then the other two through a bank window after they shoot up his coat. People approach, asking who he is, and he responds, Shazam, while staying in his adult form, then takes off at super speed.
So it looks like another retcon is that saying the word of power has to be accompanied with a certain feeling for it to transform him, which I guess they felt they had to do when they decided to drop his original name. More on that in the next episode.
Freddy could only hold on to $47, and now they're okay with Billy's outlandish attire, all so they can get the beer and toast the dead wizard who's probably turning over in his castle right now. They enter a local shop, wondering what beer to get.
I heard it all tastes bad.
Why do we want to get beer again?
The lazy convention of teenage idiocy being true for all teenage characters.
That's when they encounter another crime, someone holding up the clerk, making Fawcett City seem a lot more like Gotham if you ask me. Shazam taser conks him on the head and again is asked how he can ever be repaid. This time he goes with all the junk food they can carry, but it doesn't look like there's any beer, so, well, there's some upside. Just as Freddy is suggesting he uses magic to create a Shazam car out of a pumpkin. Man, toy manufacturers would love this kid. They encounter and stop a carjacking. It seems odd that they've come across so many crimes in such a short span of time, like happening upon them is one of Billy's superpowers, which he of course thinks is stupid, but a voice only he can hear says it's useful for a champion of eternity. He walks to a storefront seeing a woman's face in a mirror. It's Francesca, whom we saw when Billy first entered the castle. She tells him that his newfound connection to magic makes him finally attuned to certain things, but warns of Black Adam, in the vaguest way possible before the mirror shatters and she's gone. The pair notice Billy can fly, because I guess he forgot the wizard said he could do that, and we get a splash page of the two soaring across the morning sky, Freddy screaming at the top of his lungs. Because that's how you stay inconspicuous. The span of time is finally addressed, Freddy saying it's almost sundown, and with them missing since the previous day, they need to get back home for school tomorrow. Not a perfect explanation, and you'd think that before now he would have already thought of getting back home, but at least it's something. However, Billy doesn't intend on going back or returning to his childhood state. He'd rather litter, the terrible little snot. If Freddy wants to go back, that's his call, but Billy is staying an adult and considers if he should be hanging around kids at all. Freddy says he's already come to act like most adults he knows,
A condescending tool.
and walks away. Billy tries looking for him, but doesn't find him, which is weird because the kid's on crutches, how fast can he go? When he's suddenly attacked by Black Adam.
I need an adult! I need an adult! Wait a minute.
Chapter 9 sees Savannah and Sloth going to a recycling center in New Jersey, the latter able to sense the location of the new champion thanks to extended time spent at the Rock of Eternity. And even if something like that were to get by a wise old wizard, Adam already said that the wizard wasn't powerful enough to keep the sins at the Rock, so he made them forget who they were, and oh my lord, why am I asking, because they're not going to answer the question. Sloth also detects the presence of one of his siblings at the facility, encouraging Savannah to locate her with his eye. Sloth sends one of the workers to sleep for years, apparently, then awakens his sister's sin from another, pride. And apparently Savannah is up to something. Why else would he mutter that he also has a plan where someone could easily overhear him? Back in Philadelphia, born and raised, on the snowy ground we find Billy a little bit dazed. He sees Adam's costume is just like his, only black and therefore cooler.
I'm beginning to think that this dialogue has become more self-congratulatory than anything else.
Adam claims to be the rightful champion of Eternity, and Billy asks how old he is, only to get clobbered.
It's like the old saying goes, you never ask a lady or a supervillain their age. And especially not a lady supervillain.
Shazam is sent flying through the district, involuntarily, skidding into a store and surprised he can bleed.
You made me bleed my own blood.
Adam shows up to punch him through more walls, ignoring pleas that he could hurt someone. When Billy's attempt at fighting back fails miserably, his foe demands all his power, then throws him outside because it's easier for Billy to run and transform back to his younger self.
Oh, golly, if that doesn't put the Shaz in Shazam.
The comic ends with Adam fruitlessly searching for his quarry, who's hiding beside a dumpster in an alley.
He was violent, boastful, dressed in black, and looked like he wanted to kill me. I thought he was a hero. We've got one more episode before we're through here, and the journey so far has been a mixed bag. But who knows, maybe the final chapters will have a satisfying payoff. Wonder if there's a magic spell for that. I'm the Angry Spork, and man, have I got issues.